Hi, I'm Laura, and this is Trope Train Trilogy, and today I'm going to be opening up this box with some of my childhood writing and just stories and schoolwork and poetry in general, and we're going to see what interesting stuff I can find in here. So I actually had quite a few notebooks with creative writing and stuff in them, but I got rid of the vast majority of them because I don't like the space they took up in my room and I was trying to declutter. And looking back on it, I don't actually regret getting rid of them. I don't really, I'm not that attached to them. I'm more just like, I should have known they would make great YouTube content, even though I had never watched YouTube when I did that. But that's my only regret, video content. So I'm going to skip past most of the boring assignments and stuff and irrelevant stuff like a champion clover for something I don't even remember why I got it for. And I'm going to focus more on the writing and some of the weird drawings and just the story stuff in general. Oh, the first thing I got is a writing portfolio. So that's cool. Someone has what is that mouth though? It's like someone ate a snowball. It's like choked. It's disturbing. Okay, wow, going right into the story. This is an essay about why I strongly believe recess should be longer. Okay, I wrote a poem about an erupting volcano. At an erupting volcano, I hear people screaming. I see people running to the helicopters. People dying. Helicopters fling. I wish I weren't here. I wish I was in the helicopter. The last one. Yay. I got in it. Bye-bye, lava. And I wrote like B-U-Y, bye. So I escaped the deadly volcano. And it's very telling too that the poem has people dying in it. Expect more of that. Okay, so at school we had this like computer software program that we could do weird things, like we could push a button and then random fish would appear, and if you keep pushing, more fish would swim out from where you clicked. Or I could get some weird goopy toothpaste looking pencil art or just make circles. So I kind of did that for this, and it's Scarecrow at the Beach by Laura. Guess I'll get into it. I don't know how to do this entertaining, so hopefully this isn't boring as crap. Once there was a yellow and nice scarecrow. His name was Jack. Jack was really bored. He was at the sandy beach. He asked his big brother John what to do. John told Jack that volleyball is a very fun game. When they started playing, John hit Jack 89 times in the head on purpose with the volleyball. Dang, John, you're a terrible brother. You're giving him brain damage. Then the ice cream truck came. Jack got brain freeze. Okay, brain damage, then brain freeze. Good for Jack. Then Jack's friends Joey and Lucy said, "Make a big sandcastle." Jack made a sandcastle so big it collapsed on him. Jack is getting a lot of injuries. John said, "Wash off in the water." Jack could not swim. Oh no. It's getting pretty intense now. So the strong lifeguard had to save Jack. Then he saw his friends again. They made a kiddie pool. Soon Jack, Joey, and Lucy played in it. Finally, Jack had fun. The end. Oh, that's nice. So it starts with like, that's the little picture and his brother is abusing him and then he almost dies, but they find a solution by making like a kiddie pool in the sand. So that's their solution. Power of friendship. Also, her name changed from Lucy to Lacey. Like, I just spelled it wrong the first time. So obviously, this is the sign that I'm a writing genius, and you should all want to read whatever I decide to publish when I do. I feel like I need to be more entertaining. I wish I was funnier. That's me playing lacrosse. Aren't I adorable? That's me playing lacrosse at a younger age. So when I was little, I read a lot of the little short stories about the Black Lagoon. So I guess this is my version of a short story. So I'm going to read it for you and I'll put the pictures up as I read. The class pet from the Black Lagoon. We're getting a new class pet. I heard it's a real monster. I hear it's half dog and half bull, and he eats the students. Oh my gosh, I drew children getting eaten, guys. Like, it's already getting kind of vicious. Oh well, I'm not surprised. I hear that every teacher that had that pet hid in a desk. I heard there is bones in every class he goes to. Oh good, there's There's human bones. I hear the dog does the teaching. If you get an answer wrong, off with your head. Oh, okay. I drew a decapitated student, including blood. So, first dead child drawing. I think I might have been a slightly disturbed child. The bark is so big, even if you wear earmuffs, the bark will come through. Bark! I feel like, though, everything that comes after the decapitated kid is kind of, low bar. It's like, I skipped too soon to the climax. And he eats your lunch and your backpack. So I thought I did this clever thing where the page, like, starts with him eating the lunch and then it goes over and reveals he's eating your backpacks. Genius. The teacher's coming with him. He got turned into a rabbit. He is really, really cute. Ah, hey, where's my backpack? Burp. Oh, that's kind of funny. I did like a little twist. I was like, oh, the kid was wrong. Just kidding. The rabbit's evil. I'm pretty sure the children's books for the Black Lagoon did not have bloody puddles beneath decapitated children. It was a guillotine though. I was well versed in historical execution devices, so I did a disco version of the Three Little Pigs. So there's my drawing, and then here's the story. Big Bad Wolf equals Johnny Jackson. The new Pig 1 equals Jack. Pig 2 equals Lucy. Pig 3 equals narrator. Ending. I probably shouldn't have done Johnny Jackson and Jack, but we'll go with it. Just go assume the crazy looking one's the narrator with like the Frankenstein's bride hair. The ugly big bad werewolf went down the fiery fireplace and sadly said, "Sorry, I was mean. Can we be friends?" Jack: "Fine, I love making friends. Anyway, narrator: but what is your name?" Big Bad Wolf, Johnny Jackson, Johnny for short. Lucy: "Only if you let me give you beauty." Johnny: "Okay." Lucy gave him a makeover. They became friends and lived happily ever after. The end. Book closed. Narrator: "Now let's do the rest of the story. Pretty pigs and the nice wolf. Everybody dance now. Dun, 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 dun." Okay, I just said the everybody dance now, but I know that was what I was going for. So, Lucy actually seems kind of shallow. She's like, "You can't be my friend until I make you better looking." But, you know, we all have our standards. Lucy's just a bit of a jerk, so we'll just leave it at that. Oh, this is my drawing for expansion in the War of 1812. But I definitely focused on the war. At the top is just a little pioneer lady, and then it's just the war. Gruesome war. So there's a British soldier who got his head decapitated, because apparently I like drawing decapitation. There's just blood, and yeah. Also, there's a nickname for them being lobsterback, so I labeled one that, but then I drew him as a ketchup bottle. Did I not understand what lobsters were, or did I not know how to draw a lobster? And also, look, I don't know what that is, but it looks like he might be bleeding out his butt. Then there's another British person with a bomb and someone screaming in like a little cage, but it's a shield according to them. And then there's a dead American bleeding on the ground, so I guess I had a pretty violent drawing, so that's a bit messed up. Okay, we'll move on. I don't know if someone would say this is offensive or if it's fair because I drew everyone dying, but I did draw a Native American burning to death in their teepee, and they're crying and they have their hand cut off, so that's depressing. I knew it was bad because I drew them crying, so it's like supposed to be sad. But then I have a British person comically getting shot by like a bazooka cannonball hybrid and then just getting thrown back. So, like, some war deaths are gruesome and sad, and then some are comic. I think I just didn't know how to draw someone getting shot by a cannonball properly. So, yeah, then there's some people fighting. There's the American flag, the British flag, and then there's a British person dying also with a hand chopped off, because apparently chopping off hands is another thing I like. So, heads and hands. Maybe I watched Star Wars recently and I had a hand chopping off thing. Okay, so I have this little story I wrote. What? Oh, no, wait. I know this story. I remember this story. Okay, there's this eagle. I know where this story goes. So I'm gonna read it from the beginning and then tell you what happens. There once was a girl turning 16. She lived in a small house. Her name was Mandy, Samantha Villo. She had long black hair, blue eyes, a long thin body, and white skin. When she went to breakfast, her mom said, "Happy birthday!" Ma gave her a stacked pancakes with eggnog. I think actually I probably wrote this after I went to the grocery store and got a free sample of eggnog. I thought it was amazing. I think that's the only time I've ever had an eggnog, and then I wrote that because I was like, I want more eggnog. Mandy said, "It's too much, Ma." Ma said, "Nonsense. I got you a gift." Ma gave Mandy a black glove after she was done eating. A black glove. Okay. After she was done eating, Mom took Mandy outside and whistled. A falcon was flying. Ma whispered, "Put out your arm." Oh, wait. Mandy did. The falcon landed and on the glove. Then the falcon went up and soared the dive down, picked a flower, and gave it to Mandy. Ma said, "He likes you," Mandy announced. "With his golden beauty, I will name him Blaze." Ma kissed Mandy and said, "You better go to school." Oh, wait, so the glove was for a falcon. Actually, that makes sense. A bit dramatic, though, with Mandy saying, "With his golden beauty, I will name him Blaze." Mandy's a bit ham. Mandy started walking to school. When got to school, she went to her locker. Before she could open it, her boyfriend walked up. His name was Henry. Henry had dirty blonde hair, blue eyes. He was strong. He said, "After class here." When Mandy got to science, Ma, the teacher, said, "Mr. Russ retired, so I'm your new teacher, Mrs. Villo." Henry whispered to Mandy, "Your mom is a teacher." Interesting. Ma had her short black hair in the bun. She had brown eyes with her reading gloss on. Was wearing her expensive makeup. Mandy was embarrassed. After class, she went back to the locker. Henry said, "I'm breaking up." Mandy asked, "Why? Is there someone else?" Henry said, "Yes, Vanessa." Vanessa had long blonde hair, blue eyes, and lips redder than roses. Mandy asked, "Why?" Henry answered, "Because she's the hottest girl in the school. She'll make me cooler." Sighed, she asked me out. Well, both of these people suck. Vanessa clearly went after a taken guy, and then Henry dumped his girlfriend on her birthday to get a popular girl so he can be cooler. Wow. This story has conflict. Mandy turned away from him, took about 5 steps, then she looked back at him angrily and kept walking. After school was over, Mandy walked to the cliff by her house. She sat there near the edge, looking at the sunset making the rainbow in the sky, the air becoming cold and icy, with a cold tear coming down her warm face, burying her head in her knees. Mandy fell asleep. After a while, then when it was midnight, slam! Mandy woke up. She looked behind her. She saw a black minivan. And then I never finished the story, so I know what happens, though, because I remember every story on the face of the earth that I've ever thought of. So the plan for this story was that she would run away from them and their secret organization, and then she ends up falling off the cliff, and then her falcon, like, claws her, and she gets super flying falcon powers, like Spider-Man, and she flies away. And I have many iterations of this story that I can remember. I had one where it's like a space sci-fi, but the world was like Pirates of the Caribbean where they had powder wigs, but it was in space and it was a sci-fi, and like there's this evil guy named Alexander. The main character was like more like Alexandra. Gotcha, burn. And then I had another more recent version when I tried to write this story. Not that recent, still like elementary, middle school, probably middle school, where there was like multiple superpowered people in the secret organization like kidnapped her, and that's how she got her powers. So yeah. That's that story idea I had. Ooh, I wrote a story. Yes, I wrote some Christmas stories. The night before Christmas, the potions leaked into the mad scientist's daughter's room. She started to shrink 2 inches tall. She woke up and heard a noise, so she went down the stairs. It was an old St. Nicholas. He went down the chimney. He landed in slime. He had a big round belly that shook like slime when he laughed. At least the analogies fit her setting. His cheeks like mutant pig. What? She knew it was Saint Nick. She gave him a hug and went to bed. Saint Nick put toys in the stockings and left, but the reindeer drank potions, so they were mutants. Then Santa said, "Merry Christmas to all and to all good night." So wait, she just shrunk and the reindeer became mutants. But, like, they didn't actually fix it. Like, look at this reindeer. One's just a giant head. This one, like, look at these crazy-looking reindeer. And then this is Santa. He landed in slime, and I think he's radioactive now. And there, I think that's the girl right there who's, like, tiny. So, like, nothing got solved, but it was Mad Scientist themed, so I guess it makes sense. Okay, now we have the sledding cat on Christmas. Hello, I am a tree. I am a light green polka dotted pine tree. I am sitting next to my sister. She is a pine tree. It is Christmas. Hey, I see a brown cat with an orange scarf. He has a sled. I said, hello, what is your name? The cat said, Joey, I'm going sledding down Monster Hill. Sister Tree said, that is dangerous. Joey said, I'm going anyway. Before I could say anything, he went down. He landed in a big pile of snow. He was so cold, he was shivering. So I made everyone hot chocolate. We all had latte. Bye! 10 out of 10 story. At least it had a happy ending. And there was some problem solving in this story, so I think I improved. Next story is The Bad Student. Oh, this one ends on the back. So this is my picture. There's a witch lady. And then there's a guy who thinks he's cool. Head and the guys in their dress. So spoilers, I spoiled it with the pictures. Oops. There once was a teacher named Mrs. Swartz. She worked in a high school called Vinegar High. She had a bad student named Jake. I have a lot of Jakes and Joeys. One day during class, Jake hit Mrs. Swartz with a spitball. The next spitball stopped in the air and turned around and hit him. The next day he was chewing gum. When the principal came in, Mrs. Swartz patted Jake on the cheek. The gum suddenly blew a bubble by itself. The principal saw and sent him to his office. The next day he was sneaking in the girls' locker room and in a trash can waiting to see a girl. What a perv. Why was I writing about these peeping toms in elementary school? Mrs. Swartz saw and said tutu, and the trash can turned into a pink tutu. The day after that, he was smoking marijuana in the boys' bathroom. Mrs. Swartz saw smoke coming out the bathroom. The next thing you know, he's smoking mush. What? I didn't even remember that I knew what marijuana was, and I think I spelled it correctly, but I spelled many other things wrong. Okay. After school, Mrs. Swartz was in the classroom. She was really a witch. I didn't see that coming. She took a bottle of poison and poured it a candy bar. She put it in Jake's desk. The next day, when Jake ate it, he became good. Oh. Okay, the end. I thought she was gonna kill him, but no, he became good, which still seems kind of immoral, changing someone's personality and stuff with drugs, but, you know, whatever. My license. SpongeBob was leaving boating school when he saw a magic boat. The boat said, Mrs. Puff will do a boating test on you tomorrow. Go do your test in me. The next day, when SpongeBob took the test in that boat, the boat drove SpongeBob and Mrs. Puff. When SpongeBob pretended to drive, SpongeBob passed. So the next day he celebrated with seaweed cake. His mom gave him $30. SpongeBob went to the boat store and bought a boat. It was wonderful. And then when he drove all the way home, he got 80 tickets and lost his license. So he got one from cheating. But cheating didn't actually make him good, and he immediately lost it. But there's my drawing of SpongeBob with a license. So this is my first... No, wait, it's not my first fan fiction. The other one... I don't know if this one was first. But this is my SpongeBob fan fiction. Dated 4/12/07. So 2007, it was a free write. So I think these are all free writes, actually. Another story, which I think is the last one. Okay, so here's another story. It's called The Nothing Story. Once upon some time around 5 p.m., a kid named Jenny was going to kindergarten. I like these J names. She was taken by a dragon. He started to attack the town. Then the school bell rang. He went to class with Jenny. Okay, don't want to be late to class. I'm destroying the town, but being late to class is inappropriate. The teacher named Miss Villain said, Dragon, do you know your ABC? He said, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, Pi, J, K, L. Miss Villain said, it is I, not Pi. Classic comedy. she gave him the dumb hat and made him sit in the corner. So he ate her. And then he took her out. So I guess he like took her out of his mouth. He said, meanness tastes bad. She expelled him. He celebrated by eating the desk. She asked Bob students to count to 10. He said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then she wiped him on the hand. Oh, she whipped him on the hand. Oh my gosh, his teacher is vicious. He cut her arm off. She bled slowly. He said, meanness suffers slowly. What? What? But she's still teaching. Then she said, Jenny, spell there. Jenny said T-H-E-R-E. Okay, so the teacher said spell there, T-H-E-I-R. But apparently Jenny was supposed to know which one. Wrong. T-H-I-E-R. I switched the spelling and the teacher corrected with the wrong spelling. Said Miss Villain. She slapped Jenny. They wrestled. Jenny paralyzed Miss Villain. So for the rest of kindergarten, they partied and got A's. What the heck? Like the teacher eating the dragon and then spitting her out. It's like, haha, that's funny. But then the actual human students, like, tortured. What the heck? I knew I was messed up for drawing all those dead people, but it just keeps getting worse. I was a disturbed kid. Dang. Okay, this is my story about myself in the shape of myself. So that's, I think, a type of poetry or something, but I'll read it. I am Laura. I am kind and helpful and wonder how long the ocean is. I see Fluffy, my cat. I want a giant water slide. I am fun and loud. I pretend to be a dog. I try to scare Samantha, my sister. I feel like a soccer star. I touch Fluffy, my cat. I dream of going to a new school. I am Laura Fielder. Okay, so to clarify, I did murder a teacher in my last story, so I wasn't a fan of school. I didn't hate any of my teachers, though. I just wrote a story about murdering a teacher. Oh, I hope my teachers didn't read that. That was disturbing. But I had a dream once where I went to a different school and like it was like just a giant playground school and it was kind of creepy and my teacher looked like Beethoven with like one of those powdered wigs. Yeah, so it was a dream I had once and I think there was like a cult or something. I don't remember exactly, but there was something fishy about that giant playground school. Okay, here's my like Halloween scary story. So let's see how this goes. It was a dark and stormy night. 2 scientists making a cure for a sickness. One of them had lots of greediness and wanted to make the cure himself, so he locked the other scientist up in the dungeon. So he was working, but he was sent careful, so he accidentally spilled it on him, and then the contamination began. He became a monster. He completely gone mad. He ate the other scientist, but he lived happily ugly after and never died or get sick. The end. Okay, so that story did have someone die, but it was a Halloween story, so I think it's a bit more appropriate. But there's like the dark stormy night, and then there's the scientist. I think that's the one getting locked up, and then the potion spills on him and he goes to the dungeon and eats him. Oh my gosh, that's actually, I drew him eating him right there. That's him eating him. And then there's the monster, what he looks like. Oh, he has really pointy nipples. Ew. Okay, last story. I rode my bike to the farm and looked at the calves, then pet 2 cats, ride my bike home, play on the swing set, next eat dinner. Finally, I played on my pogo stick. Beautiful. Then on the other side, he found out his question using scientific method. It was important to drop no just rocks because he might think rocks are just heavier than air. Okay, and then it's Ugg and Ugg's wife, and he dropped his breakfast rock. Cave people ate rocks, and that's how he learned about gravity. Newton got nothing on cave person dropping his rock breakfast on his food. Like, everyone thinks Newton discovered gravity, but it's actually Ugg. Ugg is genius, and we don't appreciate him enough. Beautiful jewelry. How do I look? Am I beautiful now? This has no stories in it. Oh no, my sister fights with me. Oh no, this was a poem I performed at school, so I didn't write it, but I performed it at school with my teacher. So in elementary school, we had this thing where you were allowed to perform a poem in front of all the parents and students. And the one I chose to do was My Sister Fights With Me. I didn't credit the author though, so I'll try to look it up and post it, like put the name of the author. But so for this, I was going to do it, and a lot of kids like dress up or do something goofy, but I didn't realize that. So I was getting ready to go up, and the teacher was like, hey, what are you doing for? I was like, I don't know. Like, I was just going to read the poem. So my teacher, who's like this older lady with gray hair, Mrs. Trout, she was awesome. She put her hair in pigtails to match mine, and then we went out together and we pretended to fight while I read the poem. It was great. She was a great teacher. Yes, this is definitely getting younger. Cover that other kid's face, even though he's an adult now, so I guess it's not as big of a deal, but that's me. I'm adorable. Yeah, so that's it. That's all of it. I have some poetry stuff that I might do in another video if you guys found this interesting. I think these are the most disturbed stories you're going to get though, so if that was your favorite part, there might be some more disturbed stuff if you look at. Let's hope. So, some things I learned from this. I was a disturbed child. I knew, like, my parents were like, you were into dark stuff for a while, but I thought it was like middle school when I started to get angsty and like life sucks and stuff like that. Nope, I was always messed up. Apparently, had this, that story with the teacher actually is kind of really messed up. So, if you read my writing now and you're like, wow, this is dark, people die terribly and it's disturbing, nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to tell me about any of your writing or stuff you did as a kid, or if you were just as messed up as me, please let me know so I know I'm not the only one. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and found it at least a little entertaining, and I'll see you